All right, good afternoon. Good evening, I guess it is, right? Good evening to everybody out there around the world. Thank you for thank you for joining us. I'm so excited to be with you tonight. This is a subject that is near and dear to my heart. And for those people that have been joining all around the country, I want to tell you tonight you're going to get your money's worth. Tonight's free, and I wanted to expose you to some concepts that I wish I would have learned much earlier in life. I went to college for 9 years to pursue 3 degrees. I never had a class in how to find what made me unique in the world. I never had a class in how to package what made me unique in the world. And I really didn't have a whole lot of classes in how to sell what made me unique in the world. So tonight I'm going to break down a formula for you that I really have uncovered over the last 17 years. If you know much about my story, you know that I was a high school basketball coach. I started coaching very early in life, as early as 15 years old, coaching junior pro basketball. And I'll come back to that. At 18, I was an elementary coach. At 19, I was an assistant coach at a large high school. By 21, I became the youngest head coach in the state of Tennessee. And I'm telling you this because what really made me known in the world was what I was learning from 18 to 25. What really made me known in the world was what I was learning. Now, I didn't know how to package it, and I sure didn't know how to sell it, okay, which is what I'm going to show you tonight. And then ultimately, I'm going to show you how to sell, whether it be coaching programs, speaking, licensing, online programs. And I think you can earn millions of dollars if you just get this right. But there's some key things you got to learn along the way. And I like to put things in simple concepts. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about how to find your primary skill that can earn you the most money. Okay, if money's important to you or impact's important to you, if you have enough impact, you're going to make enough money. I'm going to show you how to find your primary skill. And then, so that's step one of our equation tonight. Then I'm going to show you how to package that skill. And packaging is anything the consumer can feel, touch, taste, see. Packaging is what you see behind me: imaging, branding, logos, greatness factory. Like, that's packaging. Packaging is taking an idea and putting it into something that other people can consume, other people can absorb. So think of it like I have an idea. I take that idea and I turn it into a book, webinar, training program, online platform, podcast, speaking tour, on and on and on and on. Packaging is a way for me to consume that, okay? So first step is we're going to help you find it. Second step is we're going to help you figure out how to package it, which is, if you ask me tonight, if Justin Myers or Jesse Cole or Jeff Hines or Kelly Knowles ask me, Coach Burt, what's the one big missing structure a lot of people have, is they have something really incredible in their mind. They've had incredible experiences. What they don't know how to do is package it and sell it. They don't know how to package it and sell it for more money. They don't know how to package it and market it. So this has been a big part of my life. The good Lord blessed me with the concept to be able to see a concept or hear a concept, synthesize it, internalize it, package it up, and sell it. And I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? So first step, we got to help you find it. Second step, we got to help you package it. That's the marketing piece. And the third thing we got to do is we got to help you sell that special, okay? So if you're watching us tonight, I appreciate you, number one. I'm live from the Greatness Factory. Number two, if you have questions or comments at any point, you could put those in. Also, Mike Baker said, what's up, Super Coach? Good to see you. Awesome, Mike. I got team members here. Eric White is here at the Greatness Factory with me. Lakin Hibden is watching online. Tonight, I will tell you right up front, I'm going to make an offer at the throughout the webinar. And the offer is to join me at my $1 Million Coaching Summit. It is a different offer that I made at the first webinar that I did. Tonight, I'm going to give you the $1 Million Coaching Summit. I'm going to give you a year's worth of Monster Producer. I'm going to give you 4 coaching sessions leading up to the $1 Million Coaching Summit. And we value that package at about $22,000. And we're going to give it to you tonight for $5,000 with a $500 deposit down. You just go to coachburt.com/summit. So you're going to hear me talk about this because I'm a big believer that Anita Hill knows this, who's on here with us. We have to go get the information we need to earn more income, okay? We have to go find it. So you could spend 2.5 days with me let me coach you for a year through Monster Producer, a coaching program, and let me give you 4 free coaching sessions. Those are valued at $3,000 a piece. So that whole package is $22,000 that we're going to give you for $5,000 with the $500 deposit. So I'm going to be telling you that throughout because some of you need to take action on this. Now, here's what I'm thinking. Tonight I want to show you this. I got my notes right here. I want to show you how to leverage your past. Now, this is very important. All of the material you need to go out and earn hundreds of thousands of dollars, you already have. You say, well, how do I have it? You have the raw materials from your past. See, I'm paying you, Barb Turner. I'm paying you for your past. Your past helps me build my bigger future. But most people do not know how to leverage their past. Your past experiences, your past mentors, your past failures, your past is helping me to build my bigger future. See, most people don't think of it like this. They tell you don't live in the past. I would actually tell you all of the raw material you need that you got to find and package is in your past. Like in my past, I was mentored by Stephen Covey. That was who I studied the most. I was a championship women's basketball coach. I learned how to activate the whole person. I learned how to connect to people. It all came from my past, guys. Then you throw in my education and who I was mentored by. That builds my future. So some of you will want to market and sell what it is you have through speaking, coaching, online programming, books. And in essence, some of you are really, really, really successful, or you've been successful, and I call it baking the cake, right? You've been very good at baking the cake. That means you've been doing it. As Michael Gerber says in the E-Myth, you've been doing it. And you've done it well. And because you've done it well, you want to go tell other people how to do it. So instead of baking the cake, you now want to sell the recipe. Okay? You've baked the cake. Now you want to sell the recipe. And I want you to think about, what are you good at baking the cake? So when you think about this concept, this month I've been teaching my Monster Producers this concept called single digit millionaire. And single digit millionaire is just a mental construct about how to get your net worth between $1 and $10 million. And the primary way you do that is get your revenue up by working a selling system, build excess cash, use that cash to earn more money. Okay? Get your revenue up by selling, by becoming great at selling. Listen, a lot of people have a book that they can't sell. They got a program that they can't sell. They got a webinar that they can't sell. They got an online product that they can't sell. There is an engine. So let's say I'm over here being whatever I'm doing. Okay. Let's say I'm also Mike Baker, and this is my primary job right here. Okay. Or let's say I'm Peggy Thompson and I'm a real estate agent. That's my primary job. And I have this big breakthrough that I'm supposed to be teaching other people this one thing. So I decide, okay, I'm gonna write a book on it or create a program on it, or I'm gonna structure something on it, right? But now it's like I got a whole nother business over here. I have to market that book. I have to promote that book. I have to package that book. Just because I've been successful over here, don't mean I'm gonna immediately be able to go over here and do this. So I've got a mortgage originator that's making $700,000 or $800,000 a year who wants to coach. And I said to him, you're not going to be able to go from making $700,000 or $800,000 and stop what you're doing and tomorrow go make $800,000 speaking. Like, that's a whole new business. You may be able to speak on what you've done, teach people the recipe, but you ain't going to jump to $700,000 in the first year. It may take you 10 years to get to $700,000 a year doing that. So what you got to understand is, first thing we got to do is we got to get our revenue up. We got to build excess cash. We got to use that cash to earn more money. As cash comes in, we use that money. Who should we use it on? Use it on ourselves. And you say, what has this got to do with tonight's webinar? This is real simple. To get your revenue up, the first thing you got to do is you got to find your primary hard skill. Now, this is very important, because if you're out there trying to sell something that everybody else is selling, there's nothing unique about it. There's nothing interesting about it. There's nothing differentiated about it. You have to do some heavy work to say, what is it that I have? What is the primary skill that I have, and who would pay for this? Because remember, step one is finding our primary skill. Okay. And if you don't have this primary hard skill, see, your skill is used to solve another person's problem. If you don't know what it is, how can you package it? How can you sell it? First step is I got to find it. So I call this a primary hard skill. And it could be a soft skill, by the way. Okay. So if I told you that my primary skill was coaching people to higher levels of performance, my primary skill was taking complicated things and making them simple. My primary skill is taking an idea and packaging it and delivering it in a way that gets people to move. If that's my primary skill, that's why people are paying me. Okay. Companies are paying me to get more out of their people, more production. You guys are on here tonight to learn how to find and package your skill. Well, the first thing you got to do is you got to find it. So this skill is unique to you. It's most likely discovered very early in life. I want you thinking about yourself. Okay. This skill is unique to you, most likely discovered very early in life. This skill is used to solve problems for other people. Okay. And then ultimately, this is what people are going to be paying you for. Okay. So Justin Myers asks, how does one find their hard skill? This is real simple. There's a couple questions I would ask you. Okay. Justin, how do you find your hard primary skill? Number one, let's go. What do you love doing? Gives you energy, compounds energy. What are you good at doing? Naturally talented at? Where is there a need in the world that will compensate you for that skill? And fourth, what is your conscience telling you? So let me give you some examples here. Number one, my first hard skill I wrote down was curiosity, because I asked questions. I was hungry to learn. My Little League baseball coach said, son, one of these days you're going to be a great coach. See, until you find your hard skill, you're selling a commodity. Okay, I got Lee Kentoff on here, who's our one-to-one coach in our coaching program. And she's a real estate agent and she's coaching for us, but she's not selling. She's not selling houses. She's selling confidence. She's selling energy. She's selling experiences. She's selling know-how. That's what she's selling. Like, you got to get out of your brain. Like with Justin Myers, you're not selling signage. You're selling a unique skill set that you have, because there's a sign company on every corner. So what Justin's got to be able to sit down with a person and say is, Coach Burt, thank you for looking at signs by veterans. Thank you for coming to me based on my unique past, based on my unique experiences, based on my unique background and who I've been coached by. There's really nobody more qualified in the world to do this for you, this one thing. So I want you to think specialist versus generalist. Right? Ruth Barrios, Terry Gilliam, specialist versus generalist. Okay. Our first thing, if we're going to find and package something up to sell it for millions of dollars, is we got to have something valuable. If you want to cheapen anything, just make it common. Right? Many times a hard skill begins with curiosity and is then fueled by discovery. For example, I was curious to learn, curious to understand things, curious to ask. So what that helped me do, guys, is it helped me go out there and seek mentorship. And for me, my first hard skill was learning The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, and taking and packaging those 7 habits and teaching those to kids. That was really one of my first hard skills, through the whole person theory, understanding the body, the mind, the heart, and the spirit. And you say, why is that critical to this equation? Because that separated me. Most high school coaches did not have that primary skill. So think of it like this. You, Paul Van Neville, Patrick Smith, you are selling a formula that you have cultivated or combined from another formula to people who will use that formula. Successful people know something other people don't know. Wealthy people know something poor people don't know. Okay, they have a formula. Now, imagine you creating this formula. I got this structure. Boom, 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 boom. Like when I write a book, I can write a book literally, if I got serious about it, in a week. Within 3 months, I could have that book out. I can write it. I know how to package it. I know how to get imaging for it. I know how to get editing for it. I know how to get it to production. And I'm telling you, within 3 months, as fast as I can get that puppy printed, I can have a book out. Why? I have a little formula. I have a formula. Now, you have a formula, and I want you to think about, if you were to sell Coach Burt, Coach Burt, a formula tonight, and you said, Coach, I can help you. I can help you if Kimberly Cole or Justin Potts said, Coach, I can help you, what would you help me do? So I want you to think about this, Justin. If I hired you tonight, what would you teach me that would expand my life, help me make more income? What would you teach me? See, this is what every person on this webinar has got to get clear on. What are you selling me? And you can't say, well, I'm selling you a coaching program, or I'm selling you this. No, I tell my people, you're not selling a coaching program. You're selling a future. You're selling confidence. You're selling energy. You're selling a formula. You're selling conviction. You're not selling a coaching program. They can get a coaching program anywhere. You're selling me and my skill set. So when you think about this, if you're on here and you want to chime in and tell me what you're selling, how do you get clear? Are you clear on what your primary skill is? Because here's the deal. I want you to think about what's your formula you're selling. You got a little potion. You got ingredients. You're packaging those ingredients up and you're going, here, I can give this to you. I can give this to you. I can give this to you. Okay. I've been there. I've done it. I've created a strategy and a formula. So I would use and nurture a formula and try it out till I showed a demonstrated capacity. Now, what if you've got a formula, but there's no proof in the pudding? Like you've shown no real results with your formula. You've shown no real results with your formula. So who's going to buy a formula? You need to be able to say, I have used this formula 72 times and it's worked 59 of those times. You'll hear me talk a lot about, I have a coaching program called Monster Producer. We believe a monster producer is a legendary creature. The purpose of that program is to engage people in a set of systematic behaviors that allows them to do something tomorrow they cannot do today. If we do it right, the average growth return is 43% in a one-year cycle. So if I can get you a 40 to 50% increase in a one-year cycle, would you at least give it a shot? That's a formula. What's the formula? How you tell your story, how you work a selling system, how you follow up, how you extract referrals, how you become a person of interest. That's my formula. And that formula has been created over a decade. Okay. Now, Kyle Hendricks says this, my primary skill is getting people to high performance and promote it in retail. So here's what I would ask you, Kyle. When you can get that business to $1 million to $5 million, you could go teach other people how to do that. Okay. When you have a demonstrated capacity at that level, there's going to be other people in retail who are going to say, how are you doing it? Now you have something to sell. Okay, now you have something that you can package it and you can sell it. How? Through coaching, speaking, online programs, everything. Okay, so here's what would happen. I learned these 7 habits. I learned the whole person theory, and I'm practicing on my team. I'm practicing, and I'm getting results, and the market's rewarding me. And I start to go, okay, whoa, I got a formula here. I got a formula that can work. I wonder. Beth Bash, Brad from Texas, I wonder if I could sell it to other people. So the very first thing I did when I had this formula is I wrote a book. Now, writing a book, guys, a book is no different than this bottle of water. It's just a product. It ain't gonna sell itself. Okay? One of the hardest things in the world to sell is a book. There's millions of books out there in the market. Okay? The people are not gonna run to get your book because you wrote that book. Nobody cares that you wrote a book. Nobody cares that I write books. I got to make the book important. So the book's got to solve a problem. See, I first started writing books. I didn't understand this. I just write a book, Changing Lives Through Coaching, The Inspirational Leader, this. Now I only write books that solve problems. $1 Million Follow-Up, Person of Interest. Okay? The new book I'm writing, Single Digit Millionaire, The Accountable Church. I'm writing very specific books that solve a specific problem for a specific group of people, not generic books. Okay, so just remember this. What's your formula? Let's stay focused here. What's your formula? Has it worked? Okay, and so here's some questions I want to ask you. What master have you studied under? Because it's very important to packaging something up. I studied under Covey, 7 years, one person, whole person theory, deep methodology, character ethic, personality ethic. Okay, what master have you studied under? These are questions I want you answering. Number 2, what formula have you learned? Remember, part of packaging is not only coming up with your own formulas, but studying other people's formulas and taking their formula and coming up with your own formula. Okay? You're not stealing what they did. You're honoring them. Dr. Covey, I honored him. I didn't steal his 7 habits. I just said, man, he's got these 7 habits, Carlos Baker, and I need to Figure out what my 7 habits are. Lencioni had the 5 dysfunctions of teams, right? Singy had the 5 disciplines of a learning organization. Dyer had the power of intention. Okay, so think about these things. These are structures that people have. So what master have you studied under, number 1? What formula have you learned? Number 3, what strategy have you created? Like when you're coaching people and you're trying to get paid for coaching people, you need to bring them strategy. You need to be able to say there's 3 strategies I would use here. There's 2 things I did here. There's 7 structures I have here. There's 2 things I would do here. Like you really need to get clear about this, okay? All right, Awesome Mike said, I help wholesalers to be awesome in business and in life by using 7-step system. AWYESOME. That's awesome. Good. That's a formula. Now, here's what I would say to Awesome Mike. Is it in books? Is it in online programs? Is it in speaking engagements? Is it in licensing? Is it in train the trainer? Is it in podcasts, which I know you got that? Like, how do you package that up? Okay. David Surratt said, I'm doing my best to study under Elko. He was supposed to call me last night. I'm going to honor him by carrying on his legacy. Good. Elko's a good person to study. Now, Elko has formulas. Elko has strategies. So what master have you studied under? What formula have you learned? What strategy have you created? And here's a big one. What success have you experienced? Because if every one of you, if I was looking at hiring you to be my coach, first thing I'm going to ask is, what have you accomplished? What have you done that I would like to do? Okay? What have you created in the world that I'd like to create? What would I part with money for, Roxanne Milton? Why would money leave my pocket to come to your pocket? Okay? So if you're coming to me, I know how to build a multi-million-dollar coaching business. I know how to earn millions of dollars. I know how to buy assets in real estate because I've done it. So I'm not telling you that to brag. I'm telling you because I have a demonstrated capacity of doing it. Now, if you want to do it, I can show you how to do it. But there's a formula you got to use here, okay? Now, until you know this, until you know these things, what master you've studied under, what formula you have, what strategy you've created, what success you've experienced, this is really the first step to finding your primary hard skill. Until you know this, you got nothing to package and sell. You got nothing to package and sell, guys. You can't, if you don't, it's like, what are you going to help me do? Get very specific on what you're going to help me do. This is real critical, okay? So remember this. I was selling my mindset. I was selling my energy. Then I learned, no, Terry Gilliam, what I'm really selling is a system. I need a system to sell. So remember this. Build your system and sell your system. We got a real estate agent in our coaching program. My real estate agent, Tommy Davidson, sold 23 houses in a week. Okay? Unheard of. Most agents are doing 2 to 4 houses a month, Jesse Cole. And he comes along, sells 23 in a week, had 53 houses pending in a month. Here's the deal. I'm like, now you have something to sell. Tell other agents how you did it. Codify it. Go back, step by step, package it up. When I say package it up, we're going to get into that in just a second. Put it into writing, put it into videos, put it into some way that you can sell it to other agents. Okay, put it into something that you can sell to other agents. And so he's like, well, what do you mean? Start with a course. I guarantee old Peggy Thompson on here, who's hungry, who's in real estate, she'd want to know how you sold 53 houses in a month. Like put it in a 3-hour course. Don't even worry about what you sell it for. Too many people worry about this. Who are we going to market it to? How are we going to sell it? How much is it going to cost? Listen, you can't sell something you don't have. You can't sell the book that you had written. You can't sell the coaching program you never created. You can't sell like nothing happens until something is created, guys. That's why I tell people, quit worrying about how you're going to market it. Start worrying about creating something. Then we'll figure out how we're going to market it. Okay. Now, so remember this, you're selling a system. You're selling a system. Think like this. Covey had the 7 habits. Collins had good to great. Lencioni had 5 dysfunctions. Tim Grover, my buddy, the relentless system. John Wooden had the pyramid. Kevin Elko's got his concept, right? His greatness deal. What is it that you're selling? I got Monster Producer. I got $1 Million Coaching Summit. I got Person of Interest. I got $1 Million Follow-Up. These are constructs, mental constructs, okay? Now, what questions do you have on the first section about finding your primary skill? Just remember this. You're not selling me a product. Get out of your mind. Like I was talking about Justin Myers, you're not selling signs. You're selling a special skill set. Get out of your brain that you're selling a product. You create products that solve problems. You create structures that solve problems. You create mental models that solve problems. You create things that you can sell. But that's not the only thing you're selling, okay? You got to get in your mindset that you are the equipment, okay? Now, I'll use this example in my training today. One of my favorite stories in the Bible is Jesus has commissioned the disciples to go out into the world and spread the message. And in the Message Bible, it says, he says to them, you don't need any equipment. You are the equipment. Then he says, share the message, and if they're not interested in it, shake the dust off your sandals and keep on moving. That is one of the greatest lines about rejection in the world. You have a message. You don't need a bunch of fancy equipment. You don't, like some of you think, I got to have a podcast studio and I got to have a greatness factory and I'm not getting started on this coaching program yet. And I'm right. Like some of you think you got to have all these things to get started, and you don't. You don't have to have any of these things. You are the equipment. When I first started, I was a speaker. I was a high school basketball coach. And then I wrote a book. So I was a speaker, a coach and an author. Then I started speaking on my book. Now I'm a speaker. Guess who I spoke to, guys? Rotary clubs, exchange clubs, college classes at MTSU, anybody who would listen to me for free. I call it the bad chicken circuit. I ate more bad chicken. I used to go to these places, they have such bad chicken. They asked me, do you want to eat, Coach? But I finally kept saying, no, I'm not interested in eating, okay? Because I know chicken's bad. I would speak anywhere they would let me. Why? Because I needed to prove I could do it. I needed to prove I could do it. So I want to stop right there for a second, and I want to ask you, do you have any questions about finding your primary skill? We got to find it, we got to package it, and we got to sell it, okay? Many of you probably have not found your primary hard skill, so you don't even know what you're really selling. There's nothing for us to package because you don't know what it is. If I put my monster growth system into a book, it's in my book, Inside the Mind of a Monster. Then I took it and turned it into a workbook, which I did, called The 5 Big Missing Structures. Then I put it into an online academy. Then I put it into a coaching program. Then I turned it into a podcast. Then I turned it into retreats. Then I turned it into my wife doing retreats. Like that's taking one concept. That's taking one concept and packaging it, sharing it with the world. All right, here's a question. Terry Gilliam. Hey, Coach, it sounds like Dale Carnegie book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I need to use my unique experiences and find a way to deliver it to others. That's exactly right. Okay. You go back and watch the biography on Dale Carnegie. Dale Carnegie failed multiple times. So it's on YouTube. Dale Carnegie tried to write books. Nobody bought them. Tried to write novels. Nobody bought them. Married a crazy woman. She almost killed him. Then he did this, then he did this, then he did this. And finally, he come up with the concept of how to win friends and influence people that became an international bestseller. But he was not successful early. He tried different strategies. He tried different things. He found his voice, okay? So good question there. Roxanne, how do we find what? How do we find the what? All right, here the question here, how do we find, what we got to do, Roxanne, is we got to go back into our past and ask ourselves, what have we learned that has given us an advantage tonight? What have we learned that we can package and sell? What experiences do we have that we can share with other people? What do I have that other people would want? And where did it come from? Okay, it's going to come from the past. It's going to come from who you've been coached by, like me. I read Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I turned around and wrote a book called This Ain't No Practice Life. And I had 7 decisions. Covey had 7 habits. I had 7 decisions. Under each decision, I had 7 ways to manifest that decision. That gave me 49 things to talk about. So I'd go speak, and I'd say, I'm going to talk about my new book, This Ain't No Practice Life, because I believe we only get one life, guys. And we don't get a second chance on this one life. So tonight, I'm going to talk about one of these big decisions. Now, if you like what I had to say, this is important. If you like what I had to say, thank you. If you want what I got to say, I want you to come over here and buy the book, because I can't give you all 7 decisions tonight. I only have time to give you one. So that's what we're trying to find. All right, can having multiple constructs confuse your clients? Yes, Jesse. Great question. Multiple constructs can confuse the client. And let me tell you why. Until you establish yourself as an expert, and you don't, until you have a big name, like a big brand, like Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, or Zig Ziglar, what you're really selling is a construct. So at first, I wouldn't want you to have 10 different constructs. I'd want you to have one concept. This is my big concept. Because if you come out and you say, well, I'm a motivational guy, and I can teach sales, and I'm a leadership guy, and I can solve problems, and I can build cultures, and I got 17 books, like it confuses people. So I need to know, what's the number one reason I'd go to Jesse Cole? Why would money flow from my pocket to his pocket? What problem is he going to solve? You need to start thinking specialist versus generalist. I'm the number one dude on this one thing. There's nobody in the world that knows this better than me. Okay? So that's what we're talking about. All right, Brad Laser says this: I met great leaders and heard them speak, package how the brain works and how changing your beliefs change your future. The art of beliefology, selling the concept that nobody else can educate on the art of beliefology due to trademark. I understand. That's a concept. Okay. The art of beliefology is a concept. Okay. Now the question becomes, how do we package and sell that concept? Okay. So it's a great transition, Brad, into what we're going to talk about next. If your concept is the art of beliefology, and thank you for that book, by the way. And I have been reading the book. Now, if this is my book, Art of Beliefology, love the concept. It's a mental construct. Now you have to become a master. Let me say this again: a master at promoting and marketing that. But just putting Facebook ads out or trying to invite people to something, like I've spent a decade building a tribe of people. Okay. And what I'm doing is I'm building this tribe of people that resonate with me. I got 400 people in Monster Producer, and then I got all these companies that I coach, and then I got people around the country, and then I'm going on tour doing promotion, and I'm pulling people into the funnel, and then I'm inviting them to things. Okay. So my first step is I got to build brand, and I got to build following. Then I invite them to things, because if I invite people to things and they don't have enough skin in the game, they don't know who I am, they don't know what I believe, they don't know what I stand for, they're probably not going to come to anything, whether it's free or paid. So just think about this. If you hadn't seen me speak in Texas, Brad, you probably wouldn't sign up for my coaching program. You probably wouldn't be on this tonight. You wouldn't be coming to the coaching summit. Okay. You had to see it. You had to see it for you to really get it. Okay. So I want you to think, just because I have a concept, you know, when I wrote my first book, I had no idea how to market the concept, no idea how to package it. So I tried to put it into workshops that nobody bought, and books that nobody bought, and speaking engagements that nobody wanted. I'm like, okay, I got a product. How do I sell the product? How do I sell the product? Okay. Now let's take one more question. How can I find out what I'm good at because I have no idea? There's a book I would encourage you to read, Joey. This Ain't No Practice Life is a book I wrote that you can buy. That will help you find what you're good at. A book called Unique Ability by Catherine Nomura, Nomura. Some people are going to tell you Strengths Finders, some of those books. I'm not opposed to those. Some people tell you Simon Sinek's Start With Why, Find Your Why. I actually think I read Find Your Why, and it gives you some structure in this, but I think there are better books out there that can help you figure out what your purpose is. Okay. So just I would start with Unique Ability. This Ain't No Practice Life. Those would be two I highly recommend. Okay. Now we're moving to the second part, packaging. And remember, all of this is leading up to my $1 Million Coaching Summit, November 14th through the 16th. Spend 2.5 days with me, eyeball to eyeball, face to face. You and I living together for 2.5 days. I'm going through every one of these concepts. When you walk out of there, you're going to have a plan to speak, coach, train, lead. Tonight, we're giving that to everybody on this webinar with a $500 deposit. You can pay it in 4 payments. I'm going to give you the coaching summit, 1 year of Monster Producer. Why would you want that? Because you need to see how I coach large numbers of people. How do we coach that many people? You need to observe how we do it. Like I went through Strategic Coach to get coached, but to really learn how they did it. I got to see, how do they coach these people? How do they do this all over the world, right? So I'm going to give you my coaching program, Monster Producer. I'm also going to give you 4 coaching webinars with me. All of that's about $22,000. If we charge you individually tonight, we're giving it to everybody at a $500 deposit and 4 payments of $1,500. That's $5,000 for $22,000 of value. You can get all that tonight at coachburt.com/summit. coachburt.com/summit if you're interested in that. Okay. Now, and you should be interested in it. If you're on here tonight, it tells me you want to speak, you want to coach, you want to train, you want to write books, you want to make money doing it, but you just haven't figured out how to do it. Or you figured out how to create a product, but you ain't figured out how to sell a product. So let's talk about packaging. Packaging is the second part. Once I find my special, then I got to package my special. Packaging is anything the consumer can feel, touch, taste, see, absorb, experience. When I created this greatness factory, that's packaging. I gave it a name. I gave it a concept. I gave it all these cool motivational factors. I come in and designed it. I got all this signage. I got music. That's packaging. Packaging is anything the consumer can feel, touch, taste. So think of these concepts like this. I created this concept of a greatness factory. It's not just an office building. It's a greatness factory. Why? We manufacture greatness. Created the Greatness Factory for Kids, which is an online interactive program that we're selling to parents and schools. I created the concept of Monster Producer, which is a coaching program. So remember, what we got to do is we got to come up with the concept and we got to package that concept. A book is packaging. A webinar is packaging. This is packaging. Okay. This bracelet I have on says I'm a legendary creature. That's packaging. Anything a consumer can buy is packaging. Okay. Think about when you go places that are well packaged. So remember this, before you become famous, and I have no doubt all of you are going to become famous and known and renowned and celebrated. Before you become famous, come up with incredible concepts that will draw people in. I want you to hear that again. Part of what you're selling, okay? Part of what you're selling, Anthony Purvis, David Surratt, Chris Pfluger, Chris Gooden, Carrie Jeffers, part of what you're selling is a concept. We get too caught up in trying to sell ourselves. But if you're not famous, my very first business coach taught me this, Chris Pfluger. He said, before you become famous, Coach Burt, position by concept. What he was saying was create killer concepts that people would come to whether they knew who was teaching it or not. So I'm stepping back and I'm like, okay, what's a killer concept? This ain't no practice life is a big concept. Person of interest is a big concept. $1 million follow-up is a big concept. Single digit millionaire is a big concept. From baby star to big star is a big concept. Let's see what else is a big concept. These are all big concepts. So what I create is I sit around and I say, Chris Gooden, what is a concept that I think everybody needs? Person of interest. I write a book on person of interest. I turn it into a one-day event. I turn it into a 2-day retreat. I turn it into a podcast where I interview successful people. I turn it into a workbook. I turn it into, see what I'm saying? Like I take this concept and I go, okay, this is a killer concept. Lots of people want to be people of interest. How do I teach them how to become people of interest? I study people of interest. I break it down into ingredients. Remember, there's our structure. There's our recipe again. Right? Carlos Baker, you still there with me? Frederick Brown, Dr. Brown, you with me? So I break this concept down and I go, okay, boom, I can sell this concept. Now, Jennifer, Marion, now I got a concept. I got to take that concept, Jeremy Brown, and I got to share it with the world. This is where the packaging comes in. So I want you to think of this. Number one, do you have a concept that people are attracted to? Like my doctor I coach in Houston, Dr. Steve Hotze, here's his concept, do a 180. Here's his belief. You're going down the wrong way on the health highway. You're going in the wrong direction on the health highway. You need to stop what you're doing and do a 180 and go in a different direction. Let me, Dr. Steve Hotze, get you on a path to health and wellness minus the use of pharmaceutical drugs. His concept is do a 180. Do a 180. That's good. He can stand in front of any audience and go, hey, how many people in here need to do a 180 on their health? I was in a room last night with 1,000 people. 950 of them needed to do a 180. 950 needed to do a 180. I called Doc Hotze after that and I said, oh my gosh, Doc. I went to an event tonight that 950 people could use your services. I'm telling you. 950 people need to get their body right. Now, when you think about this, thank you, Carlos, for being there. And thank you, Carrie J. When you're thinking about this concept that was such good business advice. Okay. This was such good business advice that he said, position by concept. Now, once you have a concept, it needs to be strong and it needs to be well positioned. Now, notice these graphics that I use. I hired a person, paid $3,500 to hire a new branding person. And as part of my agreement with him, he gives me 20 graphics per month, plus 2 videos. So we send him all of my assets, all the pictures that I've taken, all this stuff. He packages those up into killer graphics with killer quotes. Then when I'm on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, what I'm doing is I'm taking that one concept and I'm telling a whole story on it. I'm taking a concept. Like today's graphic on Instagram was take initiative. And I said, I'm on my team right now about taking initiative, creating a hit list, operating at a higher frequency. And I told a whole story about everything that's going on. There was a picture of me and my wife on there, and it was really pretty and doctored up, and it looked good and powerful and had a quote on there. That's packaging. Packaging is taking a thought and putting it into something that can consume, that another person can consume visually, verbally, right? Physically. Okay, when you're going somewhere like this Greatness Factory is packaged up really well, looks good, feels good, looks high end, feels high end. You walk in immediately. Listen, I've done stuff with people, and I walked into their place, and I'm like, what? This is it? Like this is your space? Like you need to walk in and immediately feel. That's packaging. Okay. Now you could package your concept into any of the following things. Number one, a podcast. Anybody in the world can do a podcast now. If you're not doing a podcast, shame on you. And you say, well, why? You know, most of the successful and famous people that I met initially when I had no name, no brand, no nothing, because I had a podcast. I actually had a radio show on a little AM station, and I got to spend an hour every week with some of the most successful people in the world. Here's what I'd say. I got a radio show in Nashville, Tennessee, on the Fox News affiliate. When they heard that word Fox News, they didn't even care if it was an AM station. And I said, let me tell you some of the people I'm having on every week. Marcus Lemonis, Grant Cardone, Larry Wingett. Listen, I've had everybody who's anybody on that show. You say, well, why would you do that, Coach? Because it gives me the ability to follow up with them and build relationship. Next thing you know, I'm doing retreats with them. Next thing you know, I'm doing business events with them. Next thing you know, we're in partnership with each other. Next thing you know, I'm on their Instagram to their 500,000 Instagram followers. Packaging is anything the consumer can feel, touch, taste, smell. So how could you package up a concept? Podcast, speaking topic, one-day intensive. Now, let me explain what that means. A one-day intensive are these things I'm doing that are $299. Where you spend a day with me on one concept. Notice I'm going back to the concept. So this Friday, I'm doing turn your managers into coaches. It's for a very specific audience. If you're a manager, leader, coach, I'm going to show you how to attract and recruit, coach and develop, retain and insulate. See, I put those in threes. How do you package yourself? How do you sell yourself? Right? How do you find it? How do you package it? How do you sell it? Simple concepts that people can absorb. So an intensive is come to spend a day with me on this one concept. When you leave, you're going to have these 4 things. You're going to be more motivated. You're going to be more focused. You're going to be more in tune with your people. You're going to be more equipped to go out there and produce at a higher level. Remember that concept of 4 mores. Anytime you're doing marketing collateral, you need to add these 4 mores. When I'm done with you, Jeremy Brown, there's 4 things you're going to be able to do. You're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. Sue Jeffers, when I'm done with you, there's 4 things. You're going to be more motivated and more focused, more in tune and more equipped. Okay. This is what I'm selling to you. After I coach you through my little system, you're going to sell more houses. You're going to have more clarity. You're going to have more fun. 4 mores. Remember that. So I got a podcast. I got a speaking topic. I got a one-day intensive. I got a retreat. A retreat is where we go somewhere and we retreat. We may go stay somewhere and spend 2 or 3 days on one concept. It's a very popular concept today. Some people call them masterminds. I'm doing these all over the country where it's me and one other person. We go lock ourselves up in 2 days. We coach a little bit. We socialize a little bit. right? I could turn it into an online course. I could turn it into an online course, just one course. I could turn it into train the trainer, which means I'm licensing people, like with my person of interest concept. I brought people in and I said, you can become licensed in my concept. Now, if you go through my coaching summit in November, that licenses you to be a monster producer coach. You can actually go back to your city, start your own coaching program, use my content, and I don't get any money. You keep 100% of that. That's called licensing. When you go through my coaching summit, it certifies you. So Sue Jeffers says, I want to start my own little monster producer in Spring Hill, and I'm going to charge $400 a month. If she goes through my coaching summit, she's going to be certified to say I'm a certified Coach Michael Burke coach, monster producer coach. I'm starting my own little pod. She can charge whatever she wants. She keeps 100% of it. Okay. Okay. David Surratt, would you please be interested in being my first podcast guest since I'm starting a podcast tomorrow? Oh yeah, man. Why wouldn't I be, David? I'd love to be the first one for you. Just email Melissa@coachburt.com. That's my personal assistant. She'll get you on my schedule. Melissa@coachburt.com. Now, so here's what we got. Thank you for the invite too. I got a podcast. I got a speaking topic. I got a 1-day event. I got a 2-day event retreat. I got an online course. I got a licensing play. And I got books and audio programs. Okay. Now look at all these things that you could be packaging your concept. So start with one strong concept. If you know what your concept is tonight, type it in. I'd love to see it, because I may tell you the concept ain't strong enough. Okay, Brad, I think your concept of the art of beliefology is a strong enough concept. I think you got to figure out who the primary market for that is. How do you get that to them? And how do you, what problem does the book solve? Just remember that your book has got to solve a problem. If it don't solve a problem, people ain't gonna buy it. Okay. Listen, I had a fear of flying at one point, and I own a private jet, and freaked me out because I was getting, claustrophobic, or turbulence was a problem, and I didn't want to get on airplanes, and I flew all over the country, and I went and bought a book called Cockpit Confidential. Guess what that told me? Everything you need to know about flying, everything pilots know, everything, how safe the planes are. I needed that book solved a problem for me. You see, if the book don't solve a problem for you, then you got a problem, because nobody's going to buy a book that don't solve a problem. Like when I go to the bookstore, there's so many books I can buy. I'm looking for, if I need to become a better negotiator, I'm looking for a negotiating book. If I want to learn how to grow my hair out, I'm looking for a book on growing hair, right? Like what does your book solve? Like, think about this book, Single Digit Millionaire. For all the people that ain't millionaires, they may want to buy it. The Accountable Church is for all the churches out there that are dying. So let's see some of these concepts here. The Kingdom Mogul Effect. All right. The Kingdom Mogul Effect. I'm assuming, Jesse, that's just an assumption, that is related to like Tony Evans' Kingdom Man, but it's mixing spirituality with business. Okay. I may be wrong about that. Created on business, created on purpose, for purpose. Discover and develop your potential. Okay. There's power in your pain. I believe that. Promotable, concept on high performance mindset for people in the retail industry to get them promoted to a leadership role. Promotable. Okay. Results, grow your faith as you grow your business. Okay. This is how you need to be thinking. You need to be thinking, you just need to ask, is this concept strong enough? Is this concept strong enough? And let me ask you a question. Who would buy it? How would it solve their problem? How do we market it to people? Okay. So think of it like this. I got a strong concept. Here's a strong concept. When I did a show called The First Million is the Hardest, T. Pickens wrote a book called The First Billion is the Hardest. That's a strong concept. Okay. I'm reading a book right now called Bitcoin Billionaires. It's how the Winklevoss twins that invested in Facebook, after they settled with the founder of Facebook, then they went and got into Bitcoin, and they became billionaires through Bitcoin. It's called Bitcoin Billionaires. The guy who wrote that book also wrote The Accidental Billionaire about Mark Zuckerberg. So he's got this concept, accidental billionaire, young kid becomes a billionaire. How do you do it? Right? Then the other book is Bitcoin Billionaires. Then I'm reading a book called How to Turn Down $1 Billion. That's a book about the founder of Snapchat. See how strong those concepts were? They're using the word billion. How to turn down $1 billion. That's an incredible concept. Okay. Stay focused. On the mission, not the commission. I like that. The mission, not the commission. I would just stay focused out and put mission, not the commission. Mission, not the commission. It's good. Increasing productivity and efficiency through demonstrated strategies. Okay, that's good. I think you can even sexy that one up, Carlos. 7 touches to greatness. You're 7 relationships away from anyone in the world. I like 7 relationships away. I like it said like this too, Brad. You're 1 person away from a new season in life. You're just 1 person away from a new season in life. That's a very strong way of saying it. See, what you have here are concepts. Now, if Brad said to me, here's my concept, Coach Burt, 7 relationships away from anybody in the world. Come to my workshop, my half-day workshop, and I'm going to show you 7 strategies to connect to anybody in the world that you want to get connected to. That's a power concept. Read my book, and I'm going to show you 7 proven tactics that I've used to get access to anybody, anywhere, anytime. That's a power concept. Like your subtitles got a boom. Like here's a concept I'm working on, no crumbs. How to pour it all in during the day without serving leftovers to the ones you love the most. Everybody that pushes hard will be interested in that concept. At least I think they will. How to crush your sales goal and still win husband and father of the year. That's good. It's a good tagline right there, Mike. So think of it like this. Think a book, program, podcast, speaking topic, 1-day event, retreat. We use Eventbrite. So a lot of people ask me, we're trying to take this onto our website, but Eventbrite's free. I created a concept. I say, hey, I'm doing an event called Turn Your Managers into Coaches. I'm going to charge $2.99. It's going to be out at my lodge, which is important. Cool venues attract people. Cool venue. You don't want to do a workshop down at the Clarion. Okay? No offense to any Clarion folks. But there ain't nothing sexy about going over to the Clarion or the DoubleTree. You want to say, we're going to do a cool workshop at this place. Like my lodge in Tennessee is cool. Sits on 23 acres, sits up on a hill. It feels good. It gets you in a creative space. Just a cool place, man. Okay, I'm convinced that that's one reason we sell so many tickets out there, because people are going to a destination. Okay, now, so here's the deal. We use Eventbrite, eventbrite.com. It's a way to create events, host events. You can do them for free. You can pay. They keep a little piece if you charge money, and that's okay. So here's what we do. Come up with a concept that we can push people to. Just remember, package something professional. Don't go cheap on your packaging. I told you earlier, I'm spending $3,500. That's not all I'm spending, by the way. I'm spending $3,500 on one guy packaging me up. I'm spending another $3,000 with an ad agency. I'm spending no time how much with a website, dude. Like I'm spending probably $10,000 a month on packaging, graphics, looks, concept, bus, airplane, okay, all that stuff. All that is packaging, okay? Joey, are you giving any discounts on your book, This Ain't No Practice Life? Okay, I don't know if I can do a discount on the book without doing it on the website, but trust me, if it's $15, it's worth $15. It'll be worth $1 million to you. Focus on the process, not the scoreboard. Ruth said, how to build a successful advisory business. See, that's good. Okay, that's your concept. Now, here's what I would ask you, Ruth. Now I want to package this up. So I'll take that concept, create a graphic. I may then create a Facebook ad. I may take the Facebook ad, drive people to a landing page. A landing page is a simple 1 page that explains the concept. I may give you 3 free things. Now, this is very important. Do not miss this. Part of the reason I'm giving you an hour's worth of free coaching, that's $3,000 of what I would charge, is to show you that I'm qualified to help you get to a higher frequency. Okay? When I teach you and coach you, some of you are going to come to the conclusion, this dude can help me. He can help me make more money. He can help me reach my goals. He can help me build my speaking and coaching business, okay? The reason I'm giving it to you free is because it's a way for you to come into the funnel to get to know me, okay? Some people don't like that. They say charge $49 for it. That'll separate out people who ain't serious. I actually believe you should give three free things away and then have an offer that people can take advantage of. So I'm doing 3 free webinars this summer on these topics, 3 free webinars. I'm giving people a month of Monster Producer for free to try my program out, because I believe the probability will go up if they're in there and they can see change in their life. So I got a concept, I package it, I put a Facebook ad together. I create a landing page. I don't create a landing page. The website dude creates a landing page. We push people to a landing page where it says there's 3 free opportunities here. Sign up here. Once they sign up, you got their name, you got their address, you got their phone number. I'm sure many of you got a phone call from my sales team. You know where we got that information? Because you signed up for the webinar. We got your phone number. And obviously you're interested in getting better, or you wouldn't be on here with us tonight, right, Tim Williams? You wouldn't be on here if you weren't interested. Okay, so here's my concept. I'm going to give you 3 free things, which is just my way of saying, taste the goods, man. See if you like me. See if you like the system. Then I'm going to ask for something. And the ask is going to be, if you like this, come to my million. If you think this is good, spend an hour with me, come spend 2.5 days with me. And I'm going to show you how to take $5,000 investment, turn into $500,000. So give, ask. Everybody see that? Give, ask. Vaynerchuk would say jab, hook. Okay? Always have something in the future to push people to. Always have something in the future to push people to. Now, let's finish this thing up with this concept. How do we sell what we have? How do we sell what we have? Okay? I found my special or my concept. Okay? I am now packaging what I've got into these things. It is now time for me to sell what I have. This is very important. You don't want to get on Facebook and just promote a product, sale. You want to get on there and you want to share your beliefs. We call it identity, telling the story. What do you believe? Why do you believe these things? What do you do as a result of your beliefs? How do you do these things differently? Who have you done it for? And then a call to action. If I could do this for you, what would stop us from moving forward with each other? You got to learn to tell better stories, guys. Okay, 25 years old. I went through a terrible breakup. Thought I was getting married to the woman of my dreams. I bought an engagement ring. Between the time I bought it and was going to get proposed, we broke up. I was brokenhearted. I was depressed. I lost all this weight. I was also simultaneously the head coach of Riverdale. And through that period, I learned how to build almost an indestructible confidence. Because of that, I wrote a book called Swag about confidence and how to build, maintain, and protect your greatest asset. Because of that, I wouldn't be the man I am today if I wouldn't have went through that breakdown at 25 years old. See how I'm telling a story? Now, then I say, if you're out there, you're going through a tough time, come to my workshop on how to build indestructible confidence. Because that's what I'm going to show you based on the story. You got to tell these stories. Right, Anthony Purvis? You got to tell these stories. You got to tell the story. You don't just get on there and promote something. I see too many people get on there and sell a house or do a mortgage or do this or do this. You got to get in there and say, I once was lost and now I'm found. I once was here and now I'm here. I can't even believe I got to this place. Here's how I did it. You got to buckle down there, okay? Now, let's finish this thing up with selling. And I'm going to go just a few more minutes. Some of you are telling off. I know it's 9 o'clock. I appreciate you staying on with me. But this is very important because if you can't sell it, it ain't gonna matter, okay? Selling, here's what I got. I got a sales team, number one. I have really a team of 7, 8, 10 people, and all they're doing every day is trying to sell something. I create a product, okay? I create a product. We create a list of people we think would be good for that product. We initiate a phone call. We present an idea. If they say they're interested, we keep going. 7 touches in our follow-up. I got a product, I got a hit list, I initiate a phone call, I build rapport, I do discovery, I share what we have, we either close them or we start a 7-touch follow-up. Some of you are out there, you got concepts, but you got nobody to sell it. Right, Andy Garrison? There's nobody out there selling what it is you got but you. So in a given day, we may have 4, 5, 6 hours of compounded effort of sales calls and things to push people to and invites and optimization. So this is important. You may need to think about, I need a little salesperson to help sell it. And in the meantime, it may just be you selling it. I got a concept, I got a sale. I do events. This is very important. Get out of your brain that you got to get paid for everything. Sometimes you get paid by getting in front of people, and you got 50 people to get in front of. And those 50 people have access to 5,000 people. Do things for free to practice and get better. Even if you have a workshop and 4 people show up, give them the best 2 hours of their life, guys. One of those people, I think I told you this in the last webinar, the largest contract I ever signed, I signed from a workshop I did, and 2 people showed up. And I almost canceled it, but I gave those people everything I had, and I signed a $450,000 contract as a result of that workshop. You know how much the workshop cost? $49. 2 people paid $49 to come to a workshop, and I signed a $450,000 contract as a result of being good for those 2 people. Do events for free. What else do we do? Podcast, paid programming, database blast, paid ads. We'll get into some of that more later at the summit. Free things to push people to. Structures to push people to. Now, here's some examples of things of how we're selling our product and service. We have an online platform that we sell for $99 to $199. Sometimes I'll sell a single course. Okay, I'll sell a single course, Anita Hill. I'll create a course and I'll say I'm gonna sell this course for $37. I'm getting ready to make my kids' academy $97. What parent in the world wouldn't spend $97 on their kid? You know why? I could sell 10,000 of those. That's $970,000 for that product. You can create a product. So sometimes I'll say I'm selling my course today for $37. And people are like, $37? Why would you sell for $37? All I want is to lead in information. A $37 person can become a $5,000 person, can become a $25,000 person, can become a $100,000 person. That's called the value ladder. I want the information. I want the connection. Get out of your brain. Well, I got a coaching program and it's $17,000. Oh yeah, and by the way, nobody signed up for it. I'd rather have a $170 coaching program that I get 20,000 people in, and from that, bump those people up to a bigger one, Okay, so I got Basic Monster Producer, which is a monthly coaching program, $399 per month, basically $5,000 per year. I give people a free trial right now of that. Why is that important? Because I want to get people into the funnel. I have higher levels. I have some people paying $25,000 to $100,000 to be coached by us. That's called our 25K, Monster Tycoon, Monster Mogul, Monster Centurion. Then I have corporate coaching contracts. This is very important. Also, Mike Baker. Big money is in big corporate contracts, which means like today I was coaching a mortgage company where they're paying me to coach all of their people around the country. Every month they bring them into different places and I come in and coach them on sales cycles, how to improve, how to get more growth. Dr. Hotze in Houston, Texas, one of my big clients. North Star in St. Louis, one of my big insurance clients. They bring me in to coach their people. That's called corporate coaching or corporate contracts. That's where big money is, guys. They got more money to spend. So how do you get those contracts? Speaking. Every big contract I've ever signed started with speaking. Okay? Speaking, key topic that solves a problem. I got products and retreats. I got intensives. So I got sales team and I got lead generation. Okay? I got a sales team and I got lead generation. Now, let me show you this one thing. It's real simple. Everybody tonight worked on finding what made them unique. That's their special. The second piece is packaging it. I got to get it into something people can absorb. A book, a workbook, a podcast, a training program. I got to get something into it. Then I got to put a sales machine behind it, and I got to make outbound calls and invites and push and nudge and bump and got to come to class. You know, we signed up. How many people we signed up on the free deal right now? They get a month's worth of free coaching. How many total people? 30 people have signed up this month to get a free month of Monster Producer with me. Here's the deal. We can't help them if they don't come to class. So once they sign up for the free trial, now we got to call them, text them, email them. I got to get them in the room. When you're having events, guys, you got to get them in the room. Okay? You got to get them in the room. Okay? Because if you can't get them in the room, you can't sell them anything. P.T. Barnum was one of the greatest promoters of the world. You know what he knew? How to get people to the circus, baby. How to get people to the circus. So create a product. Create a hit list. Those are people who could use the product. Initiate a conversation. Present an idea. Close them or follow up. Close them or follow up. Okay? About to be 31. Come on now. That's right. Come on, Beth. Joey? Yes, on my website, coachbird.com is the most recent version of this Ain't No Practice Life. All right, let me finish this up, guys. This has been good, man. This has been so, I wish so badly when I was 20 to 30 years old that someone would have taught me this. I went to college for 9 years. Nobody ever taught me how to find what made me special, how to package it, how to sell it. This is valuable stuff that we're teaching you tonight. I want to spend 2.5 days with you in November. I really believe if you will come and spend 2.5 days with me at my lodge in Christiana, Tennessee, November 14th, 15th, and 16th, I believe I can show you how to earn hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, speaking, coaching, training, leading. Some of you got a song to sing and you got people to sing it too. You just don't have the structure in place to package and sell it, okay? So I want to close tonight by saying this. Go to my website, coachberg.com/summit. Look at everything we're going to do over those 2.5 days. As part of tonight's offer, this is only good for tonight. You can get into that summit for a $500 down payment. I'm not doing payments on any other situation. $500 down payment and pay it in 4 payments between now and November to be at that summit. I'm telling you, I borrowed $2,500 from my mom when I was 25 years old to go to a 7 Habits of Highly Effective People workshop. And man, it changed my whole life. That workshop has made me millions of dollars. I almost get emotional thinking about it because I didn't have the money to do it. And I borrowed the money from my mom to go do it. And that workshop changed my life. It has equipped me to earn millions of dollars doing what I love doing. So I can do the same thing for you at this summit in November 14th, 15th, and 16th. Now tonight, it's a $500 deposit, okay? coachberg.com/summit, $500 deposit. You get 1 year of Monster Producer for free. That's $5,000. You get 4 coaching webinars with me. That's $3,000 value. And you get 2.5 day summit with me in November 14th, 16th. That's $22,000 of value. I don't know how I can make it any sweeter than that. Okay, but you got to take advantage, guys. You got to get in there and you got to get it, and you got to get in there and you got to get it tonight. coachberg.com/summit. You can down payment $500, put you on a payment plan. Come to this. You owe it to yourself. I'm telling you because I got a lot of conviction. My wife is now writing her own books. Tonight she was speaking at her own deal. 4 years ago, she didn't even read them. She didn't even read a book. 21 to 24 years old, she did drugs every single day. That if you would have told me she'd be writing books and doing women's events and doing these things, man, I would have never believed it. But she got serious about her deal. She started studying key women, reading their books, going through their coaching programs, and now she's producing her own stuff. She has a song to sing and she's got people to sing it to, just like you do. So I really encourage you, take advantage of this offer. Spend 2.5 days with me. Spend a year with me in the coaching program. Every month up until the summit, I'm going to do these coaching seminars, private coaching seminars for people who take advantage of this on how to build a speaking, coaching, training business. Okay. Thank you. I believe everybody needs a coach in life. I've had so much fun tonight with you guys. Thank you for being so positive. Thank you for the questions. Lakin Hibden is on here. If you have questions, you've been dealing with Lakin, she'd love to help you. Eric White is here with me tonight. If you've been working with him, he'd love to help you. We believe that a good coach can change your life, guys. And we believe you have a song to sing and people to sing it too. So God bless you. coachberg.com/summit. They just brought my daughter in. Hey, sweetheart. There's my little sweetheart over there. coachberg.com/summit. You guys have an incredible night. I love you and I appreciate you.